All right. Here we go. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Midday in the Middle Jam. This is Art for Truth. We are Art for Truth. And, oops, we are going to have a little fun jam today, as we pretty much always do. So, yeah, now I think I'm ready. I have been getting in the habit of putting my musical equipment away and actually picking up after myself after use and sitting up again, and it's pretty good discipline. But here it's like just about to go 11:45, and I realized, oh gosh, I'm so used to having my stuff already ready that I had to set it up. So now I think we're back in business over here. Back in business. All right. Do anything in minor. I'm going to choose something more nice, I guess. I've been working on a metal album. Quick story, I guess. It qualifies as a story. The other night, Friday night, my friend, one of my best and oldest friends, texted me that he was listening to grindcore, and he has a very nice way with words, and he had an eloquent way of comparing it to an orchestral composition. Anyways, for those of you who don't know, grindcore is more or less a genre of metal encapsulated by real Cookie Monster kind of vocals, blast beats, and just real heavy, grinding, dark stuff. Cannibal Core, I think, would be an example. Napalm Death. Some people say it's all death metal. I mean, whatever. You can break down and categorize things down to the infinitesimal and still find things to categorize. It's one of the interesting aspects of life and consciousness. Anyways, so I was like, alright. So at first he wrote gridcore, and I didn't know if he had made a typo or if there was an actual thing called gridcore, because why not, right? So I looked it up, and sure enough, I found some gridcore music, and then he emphasized, clarified that he meant grindcore, and I just started to check out some, I'll listen to some too, and some really oddly and humorously named bands. There seems to be a fair amount of bands with an anal or sphinctal theme for some reason, but it's a lot of it makes fun of itself, and I think that's a good thing to do. Anyways, I got inspired and I decided to make a grindcore album. It's not exclusively grindcore. It's going to be a mix of different things, different metallic kinds of styles. In fact, I'm calling it unicore because I'm trying to keep the lyrics fairly light, and it's just a fun way of putting it. But anyways, yeah, I've been working on that, and I'm excited. I'm not going to do any metal now, but in some of these upcoming jams, I probably will throw in some heavier tracks here and there. I still like to do my mellow psychedelia and my improvisational jams. But there's something about it, just a good rocking that I don't know. That speaks to me, speaks to a lot of us. I do think that an oversaturation of, and perhaps oversaturation could mean any kinds of saturation of, the gruesome death imagery, both visually and lyrically, can have detriments to us, I think. I mean, not to sound like Tipper Gore or anything, I don't think I do, but yeah, there is definitely some aspects of that particular element of free speech that can create a negative energy vibration in the body and soul that could have consequences that might lead to, to violence, to violent thinking, to desensitization, something like that, of the horrible things that people do to each other that we really need to learn how not to do. But there can be something very relieving, especially as a guitar player, to play that type of music and just let it out. So yeah, I am trying to, for the most part, steer clear of the super morbid graphic imagery, because I do think that can have too much of that is probably not necessarily good for a person. There's a reason that those who focus on love and community harmony and trying to, to find non-violent, peaceful, loving ways in which to interact with and connect with into the world, don't necessarily encompass themselves with that imagery, like skulls eating children and stuff like that. Because I get it, I get the release. I used to be a huge fan of things of that nature. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was once my favorite movie of all time. Watched it 3 times in one day once. Now I don't know if I'll ever watch it again, because there's just other, more compelling stimuli for a love-filled energy life, and that's what I'm going for. That is to say that I certainly think people have the right to fill their lives with whatever they like. I have the right to make comments about it. We all have the right to say things. We all have the right to our own particular stimuli and media. How we want to affect our consciousness should be our business. And I think when it comes to art of any kind, using the broad definition, we need to be able to choose and find that which works for us, but to recognize what things actually do, to recognize the power that these elements have on our brain and mind and how they can affect us and therefore affect our interactions with the world, I think is very important. Banning metal or dark imagery is ludicrous. Banning anything like that is ludicrous. However, pointing out the potential gravities that those things can hold over people that might affect things in a negative way is, I think it's a way that we can come to a better understanding about everything. And it's very possible that without releases of that energy, without the, gore, gore, eat your children, gore, gore kind of thing, that it might manifest in even more actual violence and actually violent ways. I do know that my own personal experience with a family member that overstimulating yourself with images of graphic death can definitely lead you to a dark path, especially if you don't have that artistic release. Being in a band and going trunk, 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 and having that release, a lot of, as far as I know, Cannibal Core guys aren't murdering people. As far as I know, I think some of them have like families and have community lives and this and that. A lot of the metal community is it's about taking care of each other. There's a camaraderie, there's a love even, dare I say. But when you don't have that release, when you aren't making the art and you're just saturating yourself with somebody else's ideas and images of any kind, honestly, then but especially that is partially and particularly violent and gruesome, then I do believe you open up a door to have a greater sense of violence. You have less patience. This is from what I witnessed in someone very close to me. And like anything, it can become a crutch if you do it too much, if you overstimulate yourself really with anything, when you need to constantly be saturated in a particular aspect of the world without being a broader, open entity in the world. It does lead to dogma, it does lead to alienation, it does lead to separation. And that is also one of the reasons why I am making a metal album, and I do participate in a number of different types of art and media stimuli, although I do try to stay from the overtly violent and that which is obviously commercial propaganda. But beyond that, to have a wide range and to be able to interconnect with a whole number of things allows, I think, a greater propensity to appreciate the larger spectrum of life. You don't just get stuck in it. Things have to be this way, or this is what I like. You allow yourself to expand your boundaries beyond yourself, and I think that's an important thing. everybody. Midday on Sunday. Beautiful day here where I'm at in Oregon. Not Portland, thankfully. And I hope it's a beautiful day wherever you're at, no matter what the weather is. Alright, well. What do we got here? About 10 minutes. Okay, well. I think what I'm going to do now, after that little rant, thank you all very much for everybody. Hope you enjoyed that. Little jam. I think I'm going to do a non-loop, just sort of rock out kind of jam and just see what happens and go from there and let it out. And yeah, I hope everyone is having a great day. Once again, thank you all very much for your ear and your time. Oh, good. Why am I yawning? I didn't sleep well. That's all right, there's a fun little jam. We will be back tomorrow, somewhere between 11:30 and 11:45 for another midday in the middle jam. Thank you all once again very much for your ear and your time. Keep making art.